Our senior project was with the University of Pittsburgh Office of Sponsored Research. Team members include Sean McGuire, Colin Stevens, and John Riddle. The Office of Research is a Pitt office that aids faculty in receiving funding for research. They ensure that all regulations provided by the federal government, sponsor, and school are adhered to. They are also responsible for negotiating the terms of the grant award between the university and the sponsor. Our group is originally tasked with investigating the grant proposal process to look for process deficiencies and provide recommendations for improvement. We found that poor communication and understanding of roles was creating tension between the various parties involved. Lack of valuable data available makes it difficult to identify problem areas, and the paper and email-based communication and work system results in a large amount of human error in grant preparation.
Our approach to the problem was to first interview as many people involved with the process as possible to gain an understanding of grant processing and receive feedback of the current system. We talked to grants officers, research administrators, data coordinators, IT, principal investigators, and employees from the various compliance offices. We then created process flow maps for each party to visualize the process and help identify possible improvements. We were unable to identify any glaring process deficiencies from the maps alone, other than the lack of use of technical resources. And varying opinions on the issues as well as lack of available data made it difficult to pinpoint the real problems. The Office of Research believed that large amounts of errors on grant proposal submissions resulted in wasted time trying to get them fixed and was a big cause of the tension between various parties. Other perspectives did not believe that errors were common enough that they were a problem, and the real issue was an internal process problem within the Office of Research. We also learned at this time that the Office of Research is currently drafting a proposal to receive funding for a software that would act as a central framework for grant processing. This software has the potential to alleviate many of the issues that the system is currently having, but the Office of Research was not sure of how the software would work in terms of capabilities needed and access restriction. From here, we decided to start a trial quality control system to collect data on grant submissions for 1 month. We were interested in identifying the true volume of errors, percentage of errors from specific departments or for specific sponsors, and the type of error. The Office of Research Management team could then use this information to direct improvement projects to the correct areas and monitor their effectiveness. Our group will use the data to draw preliminary conclusions and provide recommendations for improvement if trends continue. However, due to the fact that the amount of data we collect over 1 month may not be enough to draw accurate conclusions, our group is more focused on convincing the Office of Research that this type of data collection and analysis is extremely valuable and should be done continuously. The data will increase accountability and can be used as incentive for improvement. Once the trial data collection period is over, our project team then used interview responses, process maps, and data analysis to provide software capability recommendations that would facilitate in the removal of the issues the system is currently having.
The OSR has completed a trial error data collection period, and we have compiled the entries into an Excel database. We can then use pivot tables to organize them and search for commonalities. This data is only from a month span and may not be fully representative of the actual system. We simply want to use this data to give the OSR an idea of how a prolonged error collection process can be used to identify potential problem areas. Here are 3 possible areas for improvement that we have identified. First, electronic errors make up about a quarter of the recorded errors. These errors are simply neglecting to upload the sponsor submission form, which can be easily improved through training. Next, we found that NSF proposals make up 17% of the total proposals, but only 4% of the total errors. This is in contrast to NIH proposals, which make up 28% of total proposals, but 46% of the errors. If these numbers remain after about a year of collection, it may be beneficial to waive the 3-day submission rule for NSF proposals, allowing PIs to perfect their proposal for a few more days. Finally, when sorting the data by department, we find that 38% of proposals from a certain School of Medicine division have incomplete modules. These proposals are also all submitting to the same foundation. This data can tell us that there may be a unique module for this department or foundation that PIs should be more adequately informed about.
The main objective of the software is to act as a dashboard for the principal investigator, research administrator, grants officers, and compliance groups to collaboratively process and monitor a grant proposal. The dashboard should act as a central framework for work, communication, notification, and submission. We have come up with software capability recommendations that would make communication notification easier, centralized, and documented, as well as eliminate many of the common errors found on grant proposal submissions. The following are a few examples of the recommendations that we will provide to the OSR. The most important capability of the dashboard software is that it must be able to electronically submit to the sponsors. Most sponsors have their own framework or website that the grant is uploaded to, and it is crucial that the software is able to automatically submit to those websites from the dashboard. This requirement is crucial because the software is inherently more valuable if the PIs are actually working on the proposal within the software, because it allows the software to automatically pass the proposal around to different parties and receive real-time update. Another important capability that the dashboard should be able to provide is online editable forms. A PI or RA should be able to find, fill out, and send forms to correct entities within the software. The stock form will be the most important of these online editable forms. A stock form is an Office of Research form that gives important information about a grant proposal, such as compliance is needed and budget information. When a research administrator fills out and completes the online stock form, it would be ideal if the software could take the information from the form and create a to-do list of sorts within the dashboard. In our example from before, the stock form would have indicated that the human trials were going to be used, and the software would then take that information and create an IRB approval task in the list. Under the task, the user would be able to find all information that he needed to obtain IRB approval, such as meeting dates, applications, and do's and don'ts. The dashboard will be able to automatically eliminate nearly all electronic errors, module errors, and COI errors by requiring that PIs and research administrators complete the requirements before the proposal can ever be submitted to the Office of Research. From the data we collected, eliminating just those errors would account for over 50% of our errors. The combination of removing a large portion of human error, the improved communication network, and the ability for everyone to know exactly where in the process a grant is should substantially increase the efficiency of the system and relieve much of the tension that currently exists between the various parties involved with grant processing.